I would like to start with thanking you for all coming out. I know for a lot of you this is dinner time, so we'll do our best to get done early. If you need a bottle of water or something to drink, please feel free to get that. I would like to introduce the staff of Sound Learning. If you are a member of the Sound Learning staff, please stand up. We have Christina Holland. She is one of our ESL instructors. We have Noun Lara. He is an ESL assistant instructor. We have Jenny Blumenstein. She is our Mason County ESL program manager. We have Consuelo Gijosa, who is our Open Doors manager as well as our Thurston County program manager. We have Maya Pogani, who is our administrative assistant, and we have Matt Taylor, who is our volunteer and outreach coordinator. I am Ava Taylor. I am the interim director for the moment, but previously I was the assistant director. I will now introduce the members of our board that are here. I'd like to start with Jeff Slakey, who is graciously recording this for us. We have Maria Parra, one of our board members. We have Anna Miller, and we have Billy Thomas, who is also our chairman. And at this time, I will turn the mic over to him.
Thank you, Ava. So I have a couple of things that I wanted to say. I wrote them down because I don't have the best memory anymore. But that's the treasurer's report, which you'll get to hear in a minute. But I just wanted to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I really appreciate you and your time. As Ava said, I'm Billy Thomas. I'm the board chair at Sound Learning. My day job is marketing director at Peninsula Credit Union, and I'm in charge of our marketing efforts as well as our financial education efforts over there. And so it just seemed like a great match to take that focus on education and spend my time with Sound Learning, trying to help this organization continue to be successful. Before we get too far into the program, I do want to do one thing. I'd like to acknowledge the lands that we're gathering on, the traditional and current territories of the Coast Salish peoples, especially the Squaxin Island tribe and the Skokomish tribe. We'd like to honor their enduring presence and stewardship that on these lands and waters. So we're also grateful for the ways that the tribal communities support education in our region, including the support that the Squaxin Island tribe has provided to Sound Learning this year. We see that as part of an ongoing relationship, and we're committed to continued learning, respectful relationship building, and supporting our Native communities. So when I think about Sound Learning over the last year, I think about two main words, and that's impact and change. 2024 to 2025 saw a lot of that for Sound. The work that we do is really practical and personal. And the impact that we have with our students can be felt every day in their journeys and hopefully in the journeys that they continue to have after this. The difference that we're making, for a couple of examples, is students who come in and they can start filling out forms for jobs without stress. They can learn better reading skills so they can support their children after they get home. And it's really showing them that they can take these steps and challenge themselves and succeed when they do that. So I'm really proud of the work that Sound Learning has done over the last year to help with all of that. The impact comes from the people that are in the room. Ava introduced the staff and the board and all of our volunteers who are either with us here tonight or who are continuing to help on a regular basis. Those are the folks that are really making a difference, and so I want to thank them again. I was going to introduce them, but Ava already did that, so we're not going to do that a second time. There's one more big recognition that I'd like to make tonight over the last year at Sound Learning, and that's for Shannon Classell. She was our executive director for over 20 years at Sound Learning, and she certainly made an impact on the organization as well. So even though she's not here tonight, because I think she is really enjoying that retirement, I do want to just put a big thank you out to Shannon and everything that she did for Sound Learning over the last 20 years, including the part of 2024, 2025 that she was here with us. So, yeah. The last thing that I want to touch on is for that impact to continue at Sound Learning, we're going to start looking ahead into the next year. And so the board is beginning our search for a new executive director at Sound Learning. We have a great organization with a lot to offer the community, and we think that we can attract something pretty awesome, if not already close by. Our goal is to have that executive director in place by the beginning of our fiscal year, which is July 1. So we're opening that search now and hope to have that announcement at that time. We're going to approach this really carefully with a focus on the needs of our learners, the stability of the organization, and the future opportunities that we'd like to grow into. If you know of anyone in your immediate circle, or if there are educators that you're familiar with that you think would be good to come into this organization, keep your eye out when you see that announcement, and please help us share that. This position is going to be open to anyone internally and externally at the organization. So the bottom line is really that this organization matters. We've made a difference, all because of the people in the room, and we're committed to making sure that that stays really strong throughout the year to come. So thank you, Ava, for that, and I'll kick it back over to you.
Thank you. Really quickly, I'd like to make two more thank yous. One to the PUD3 for allowing us to use this space, and the other is to Troy from Cascadia. I want to make sure I'm getting the name correct. Cascadia Custom Designs. He and his team are the ones who created all of our awards for this evening, and we couldn't be happier than we are right now with them. Billy touched on a few things that Sound Learning does, but a little bit about Sound Learning's history. In 1991, yes, that means we are coming up on 35 years. Sound Learning started as Mason County Literacy. Over the years, it grew and moved beyond just helping people learn how to read, but help them learn English, help them study for that GED testing. As it grew, it also started to move into Thurston County. We now serve 2 counties. Not a lot of community-based organizations can say that. So that is another wonderful piece that especially some of our staff who've been with the organization for 10, 20 plus years, they are the reason this has happened, along with the community support. So as you can see, our mission is we educate adults to succeed and contribute to their community. Now, a lot of times people will ask, why does it say their community? Why not our community? Because each person comes from a different portion of the community. They come from their part of the community. So they are taking back whatever they have accomplished to that part of the community at large. Next slide, please. Like I said, outreach. So I touched a little bit on it. So in 2017, Sound Learning expanded from just having reading, ESL, and GED preparation to partnering with South Puget Sound Community College and introducing the High School Plus program. This is important for the simple fact that we now have students who, after they have learned those English skills, have then moved into getting their high school diploma. So we are not just having people come in to do one service. They may be using multiple parts of the program to have multiple services to improve themselves, again, going back to that community piece. Next slide, please. As you can see, 225 students last year. That is a pretty significant amount of people to come through our programs. Even more impressive, look at those hours. 20,000 hours of student learning in 1 year. It is done because of our volunteers. It is done because of the dedication of our staff. It is done with the support of our board and our community. So as you can see, we are part of the SBCTC, which is the State Board for Community and Technical Colleges. That means that our governance is the exact same as what happens with the community colleges. The 34 community colleges that have to answer to the state, we do too. Here's the sad number. 4 community-based organizations left in the state of Washington that do what we do. Last year, we lost 1. So we are down to that 4. There was a time when there were dozens. This is another reason why what we do is impactful to the communities that we serve. And if you want us to keep being able to do this, our big fundraiser for the year, yes, this is going to be the shameless plug, is May 16th at the Senior Center, also known as the Pavilion at Century Park. That is where we will have lots of items up for auction. We will have our balloon pop again this year. We've actually got quite a few items coming in, sports related, a couple of getaway packages, and more. So if you're wanting to know what you might be able to bid on, keep an eye out. And by the way, it's free to attend. And Jenny and Matt usually do a really good job of making sure the food is taken care of so you don't go hungry. Next, please. As you can see, with the number of students that we serve, this is how it breaks down. So as you can see, each part of our programs have a very significant amount of people that are involved. But here's the thing. We have 56 individuals who volunteer their time in various ways. Some as tutors, some that help with events, others that help behind the scenes, doing other parts. Maybe I'm going to point out one of our volunteers for many years, Mr. Bob Miller. He helped with some of our technical pieces as far as keeping documents tracked very well for our students. So people like him in our community are what keep us going. Next, please. And now I'm going to turn it back over to Billy. He gets to give that wonderful treasurer's report.
Thanks. Hi again. So our treasurer couldn't be here tonight. Sorry about that. You get to deal with me again. I'm going to deliver a couple of numbers to you. I will try to make this brief so we can get to the awards. But we did have a good year. Over the last year, you can see our income was outpacing our expenses. The total income was just about $423,000. And then the expenses at $417 gives us a surplus at the end of the year of about $6,600. So for a nonprofit, that is fantastic to show that surplus going into the reserves. However, you can see that that surplus is a little bit smaller than the other two numbers up there. That just shows that we're really putting that money back into the programs and helping the students and making sure that our staff are taken care of to the best of our abilities, that we can show appreciation for our volunteers whenever we can. So that's the piece that we really try to focus on, is the students' success and the benefit of everyone in the organization. We do have a wonderful pie chart here that shows you the where the money is kind of coming and going. So you can see that the two largest pieces there on our income are from the Open Doors program in partnership with the Shelton School District, and then the state and federal funding. So those are huge pieces of our success here at Sound Learning, and really, really want to thank our partnership with the school district on everything that they're helping us with. You can see that donations on here are a smaller number. That doesn't mean we don't appreciate them. And you can donate as much as you want to at the Spellybration on May 16th. But I'd like to just really quickly say we did get some really nice unrestricted donations over the last year. Those are the ones that help us if we are putting something together on the fly and we just need a little bit to help it go over the edge. If we can dip into those unrestricted funds, that will help make a big difference in our students' lives. Any donation, however, is appreciated. If we go over to the expenses side, you can see that a lot of it is staff and administrative. So to run an education program, you need properly cared for educators. So you can see that that's where the most of our expenses are going into. We have a fantastic facility that we occupy. We've got wonderful landlords who are helping to take care of us. And so you can see that the other portions there, operations and facilities, taking up about 16% combined. So it's a great sign, and it's been a great year for the organization. We're running it lean, we're running it smooth, and we're looking forward to what the income and expenses for next year look like. Any questions? Great, because I'm in marketing, not accounting, so thank you for that.
As you can see, we're looking at basic skills. Now, that word basic is anything but basic in what we do. These are fundamentals, yes, but our students get so much more than basic out of our staff, out of our volunteers, out of our programs. So as you can see, it's helping our students with their educational life and work goals. And as we go through this presentation this evening, you will see that many of our different aspects of the programs will highlight just that. Next, please. So, Mason County ABE. ABE is Adult Basic Education. Like I said, more than basic. We had 52 students. But as you can see, we also had students in different areas. Now you may say, well, it says ABE and then it says high school plus GED, but it says ABE. All right, so the breakdown comes with all of our students in all of our programs, except for Open Doors. They are ABE. All right, but our students who are working on high school diplomas or GEDs, those are specifics. If they are looking to build other skills, maybe they graduated high school, but their math wasn't all that good, or their reading still needs some help, we still help them. There's a reason why it says adult. If you are over the age of 18, yes, our Open Doors program does work with 16 and up, but if you are in need of building skills, that's what we do. We help you get that high school diploma. We help you get that GED. But we also help you with that math, that reading, those computer skills, those digital skills that are so important nowadays. The three pictures that I have up here, you'll also see that one of our people that will be speaking later is in this. We have a GED student, we have 2 high school diploma students, and we have an ABE student. Every year we do what's called a celebration of success, where those students who have completed one of their parts of their program, obtained that GED, that high school diploma, or completed that skills work that they had come to us for, get recognized. Our high school diploma students, though, have an additional piece that they can do. When South Puget Sound Community College has that high school graduation, they get to walk in 2 ceremonies. So they get to say, hey, I did that twice. But as you can see, our classes aren't just large groups. We offer one-to-one because sometimes that student needs that extra help. We offer that small group because maybe a couple of students are working on the same thing and we have the right person to work with them. And they might have certain needs in addition to just improving those skills. And all of our classes are set up so that we can have those options for day or evening because most adults work. And we want to be flexible. The other thing is you saw that it said hybrid. All of our classes offer an online component as well as an in-person piece. The reason for that is so that not only are those students, again, working on those digital skills, but they also have the opportunity to work outside of times when classes might be offered. Accomplishments, again, high school diplomas, GEDs. But here's the big one. The number of students that come through and say, hey, I feel more confident about who I am, what I'm doing, and what I can do. There's been students who get promoted at work because they finally got that credential of a high school diploma or GED. And then the big one, when they finish up and they say, hey, I still believe in this program so much that I'm going to come back and volunteer. That speaks as much as any other testimony when somebody says, hey, I did that and I want to come back and help more. Next, please. All right. So I'll just have you take a quick look at this at just this last year. Okay. The 16 people in the last year who improved additional skills, as it says, it's other than just getting that high school diploma or GED. These are people who were able to get a job finally or get that promotion because they were working towards another goal. Or, and we've had this happen a couple times, they were able to send their first email to a family member. By the way, our students, we have students who are in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and currently I have students who are in their 60s that are coming to get their high school diploma. So we are open for anybody seeking knowledge. Next, please. Unfortunately, right before we started, the student speaker that I was going to have speak today let me know she had a medical emergency. But I'll give you a couple of highlights. As you can see her quote, just stay with it and you will be a success. Well, here's the thing. It took her 6 times coming back to Sound Learning. She started with Sound Learning before we had a high school diploma program. She started with her GED. Every time something would happen, she'd get further and further down on herself and feeling like she couldn't do it. She finally got through and graduated this last year. Lynette's words when she got her certificate were, I didn't think I could do it. To my response was, well, obviously you could because you did. The better part about that is, she was like, if I don't make it this time, I'm going to give up. So what did she do? She came in every single day we had class offered. She was there for every single hour that was offered. She worked tirelessly online. And now she has returned, been a volunteer, helps other students who are completing that Pathways class with the college to get that diploma so that they can see, hey, it is doable. You struggle, I struggled, and we can get through it. Next, please. All right. Now I'm going to turn it over to Jenny. She is, again, the program manager for our Mason County ESL program. And she will have some great information for you.
Okay. Hi, everyone. So next slide. Next slide. Thanks, Matt. You're too good. So I'm going to start by just kind of giving an overview of our program. I think a lot of you are familiar with our English language program in Mason County, but the main part of it is the classes that we hold in the evenings downtown. And we offer a range of levels from 1 to 6. So most of our students are at levels 1 to 5, 5 being high intermediate, and our level 1 class is always the biggest one. What's really good and important is that we're able to separate into different groups. It really helps with effective instruction, and so we have 4 different main classes that we're organized into, 4 different rooms. And our staff helps to make that possible. There's a team of us who work in that program, myself, Maria del Consuelo, Cristina, and Naun. And also our volunteers help to make that possible. Our volunteers are really critical to help us differentiate instruction. And our program is accessible to people from a variety of backgrounds. So we will have students with higher academic skills from their home country. We also work with people who were only able to go to school for maybe 1 year in their home country and need to start with the basics of basic literacy as they're starting to learn English. And that's a real challenge, but we can meet that challenge with the help of our staff and volunteers working together. Not all educational programs utilize community volunteers, and not all community literacy programs use volunteers in the exact way that we do. I think that the way that we work in our evening program with staff instructors who work together with community volunteers is really effective, and it allows us to serve people well. I think that the students learn a lot because of that small group model. The tutors learn from the students and about teaching, and then the staff also learn from students and tutors and all of us together working as a team. So I think it's a really great model that I hope can continue. Next slide, please. I wanted to talk really briefly about just some of the ways that we do the English language program. And again, a big part of this is our volunteer tutors. We couldn't do it without all of you who come to help us one night a week. So if you come in on any given night, you would see us in our classroom sitting in small groups at tables and practicing. And we do a lot of interaction. Students interact with each other, students interact with us, and guided practice. So we will introduce a topic that we're practicing that night. We model the language, make sure people understand what it is we're practicing. We practice together, and then they have some more time to practice more independently. But there's a lot of facilitated practice going on and support, and I've seen it be a really effective model. So it's only a 2-hour class, sometimes a little bit longer, but there's not a lot of downtime. So once the student walks in the room, they're sort of doing things the whole time. And our students don't have a lot of time. Sometimes they can't come to each night of the week. We have amazing students who do, but some people can only come a couple times a week because of their work and family commitments. And so I think it's really important that we use the time well when they show up, and I think that having this partnership with volunteers really helps to make that happen. Next slide, please. So that was a bit about how we do what we do, and this is a bit more about what we teach. So we teach a combination of real-life English and academic skills, and I'll start a little bit with the academic. We start even at the lowest levels, thanks to Maria del Consuelo, with teaching reading strategies and vocabulary at all the levels. We address math often through consumer topics around shopping and more complex sort of consumer issues and also financial literacy, which I'll talk more about in a minute. But we also do real life English, because when we look at the people in the room and we ask them, what do you need to learn, people have really immediate needs. So the academic skills are important to build over time and are obviously something that builds you for the future, but we have students who need something tomorrow. They need to be able to speak to their employer. They need to get better at communicating with their child's teacher or with the people at the clinic. Even though there's a lot of interpretation that can happen, thankfully, in the medical field now, people still want to be able to be improving their English for those settings. And so we really are committed to doing the real-life English practice in our classes as well. Sometimes with our state funding, there are mandates and there is a sort of a pressure to focus on academics, which is really important, and we want to include that also, but we always want to do both because we want to address the immediate needs of the students in front of us. Next slide, please. A really big part of our program has always been employability topics and skills. It's also something that's become more important to the state and our funding with the state over time, but it's a really nice fit with our students because our students are focused on work. People are either already working, looking for a better job, hoping to start a business in the future. Many of our students work full-time, sometimes 6 days a week. And they come to our classes at the end of a long day of work, often at jobs that are physically demanding. And so we do a lot of practice around looking for work, but also on-the-job communication. So talking about safety, English for safety, schedules, talking about problems at work, clarifying instructions, and we spend a lot of time rehearsing and practicing with people, these conversations that you might have. And we've gotten feedback that it does really help and that people are able to communicate better with their coworkers and supervisors because of the practice that we do in the classes. We also help people begin to explore other careers and things they might want to be striving for in the future, even as they deal with the present. Thanks. So I wanted to highlight a couple of projects that we've done in the English classes over the past year. Some of you may have heard of these before because we've done them for a little while now on a consistent basis. This is an example of our program partnering with another institution for the benefit of students, in this case, the Evergreen State College. So every couple of years, we've had a visit from a group. There's a program called the Spanish-Speaking World at the college, and those students are studying the Spanish-speaking languages, cultures, and history. And they've come out to visit our program for a couple of reasons. Part of it is a language exchange where we spend a couple nights together practicing both English and Spanish in a pretty organized way where everyone gets practice with the language that they want to be practicing in. But people also talk about themselves, and the university students are learning from our students about their experiences in their home country and as immigrants. And then they're also just learning from each other as people, and it's a really neat thing to see, and it's been really empowering for our students to practice their English with strangers, but in a way that feels fun and friendly, and everyone's sitting at different tables together, so it's been a really exciting, kind of empowering experience for them. Another part of the project has been kind of a cultural night where the program from Evergreen was able to bring a storyteller and musicians to play for all of us in the auditorium, and then we practiced conversation around music and what our musical traditions are, or just the music that we like. And then we also, at the end of the quarter, took a field trip to Evergreen to go to their sort of end of quarter celebration where they had a lot of poetry and music and things that were shared. And for our students, the ones that went, it was kind of a fun adventure because we don't often go places together, and so we got to go to Olympia and go to the Longhouse and sit and see these presentations. So it was just kind of a fun experience that got us out of the norm and kind of opened people's eyes to other things that are going on. Thanks, Matt. Next slide. Another project that we've done this fall was our third time doing it, was a unit on salmon and the life cycle of the salmon in our level 2 and up English classes. And this was an example of us bringing more academic topics to the students, but it was also fun because at the end of it, we got to go on a field trip to Kennedy Creek. Not everyone came, it's on a Sunday, but each year we've had between 10 and 15 people join in. And we did the unit by having some simple readings and also videos and photos and visual aids. What's really exciting about doing something like this, and a lot of the topics we do in the classes is that people are hearing about the topic for the first time. So you get to talk to a room of people about salmon, and they never knew of this crazy story about how the salmon migrate and come back to their home river. And it's always really fun to talk about this with people and see their eyes open really big. And so we emphasize the ecosystem and the role that salmon play and just their life cycle. And this is an example of some of the words that people are learning that are pretty technical for us. Alevin, fry. And then this writing over here is a student, and I'm just going to read a couple examples. They return to reproduce in the same rivers. The adults die. Their bodies give nutrients and fertilize the land. And it seems really simple, but in those sentences, there's a lot of new words for the students in the class, like reproduce, body even, nutrient, fertilize. Those are all new vocabulary. So for someone to be able to write that means that we had to read it first and learn it and talk about it, and finally they're able to do it on their own. And here's some pictures from, you're going to meet Stephanie a little bit later, but that's a picture of when Stephanie came with us on one of our first field trips to Kennedy Creek. Thank you, Matt. So we've also done financial literacy with Peninsula Credit Union, and in 24-25, Daryl from Peninsula Credit Union came to our classes to work with us on budgeting and financial planning for the future. And it was really great to interact in English around those topics, and we hope to have him come back in the next few months as well. So in terms of numbers, and this is across the whole program, including level 1, and Consuelo is going to talk in a moment a little bit more detail about the level 1 class. But as a team, we served 108 students. Students studied 9,797 hours. 10 wonderful volunteers contributed and helped to make that happen. And we have a work-study student. We're lucky to have someone from the Center for Community-Based Learning and Action each year who helps us in our classes. And it's a real team effort. Each quarter, at least 40 students participate above 50 hours, often 60, 70, 80 hours, and we have a little celebration and we give out certificates to the students who were able to attend at that level. And so this is a picture of some of the folks who got certificates recently. And it's always really amazing to recognize that and to think about the busy lives that people have, contributing to their family, working, and to make that time in the evenings to come. It's really quite impressive, and it always inspires us, all of us who work in the program, the effort that the students put in to learn and improve. So just one last slide. 65 students in the program reported getting a job or a better job last year. 80 students reported improved employability skills, ability to communicate with their boss, supervisor, coworkers. 75 students reported being able to communicate better in health settings or in terms of going to the store and purchasing products. And 80% of the students who attended over 40 hours gained a level in at least one skill area. So that means that with enough time, if the students put in the effort, they are able to learn and make progress in our program, and that really says a lot. Consuelo.
Hi, how are you guys? Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate your support towards sound learning, no matter what your role. Thank you. So, as you know, I'm teaching the level 1 class in Mason County, and we've been lucky to have you can see, I try to adapt to the students, and the majority of students we have in the classes are new to the country. In this case, we can see some seniors here and some young people. So intro classes, we use a lot of toys, you know. You can see in this picture we were teaching body parts. And students truly appreciate that we offer this kind of teaching, because sometimes when you go to the academic part, it would be really complicated for them to achieve what they want to do, especially developing their speaking skills. We have one of our volunteers helping in the class. Some aspect of our program is that we need to report to the state what achievements we have acquired throughout the year. So we have to test people when they come to us. And after each quarter, we have to show progress, right? So we have a picture here where we're supporting one of the people who cannot read nor write, just to take a look at the visuals and be able to take the test. In this case, in that picture, you can see one of our tutors supporting one of the students. So it's amazing to see, right, that how you can have adult people who don't have any literacy skills, now be helping with that, like teaching the ABCs, numbers, and after that you can start taking the language classes, right? It is a big challenge for our students to come to a new country, have to navigate a new system, and then not being able even to understand the alphabet, right? So we start from scratch. And low level one is very different probably from other classes, because our goals might be different too, and that doesn't mean that they're not valuable. We have people who might not be able to get a high school diploma, but they might be able to ask for a hamburger at the restaurant, right? Like just getting those important skills, like survival skills, that's what we try to address in this level. So thank you. Besides teaching those language skills, we also try to help students develop some sub-job skills that you need. So we have different kind of activities, and we have one of our students here, right? Thank you for coming. So leadership, we encourage students to participate in our classes, and sometimes we ask one student, like Lalo, help other students, right? Like, you're gonna be the teacher this time, you can be the student. So we try to promote those skills, teamwork activities, so once they get a job, they feel familiar with these kind of skills. Next slide, please. Academic skills. We've been very lucky that last year we had a grant from the state, and sometimes we get some private grants. So we're able to get some books to practice academic skills. Some of the books have an audio component, so they can also study at home, right? So you can accelerate progress. Okay, one more slide. Okay, so I'm also in charge of the Open Doors program, and Open Doors has been a great opportunity for our young students. Some of them have been at the high school, and because they don't have the academic and English skills, they're not able to keep up with the classes. So they come to us and they learn the language, right? So this program is for newcomers, people who are new to the country. And we're very proud of this program. I think one of the students who's here, David, has been taking advantage of the program. So because they're so young, they learn English very quickly, and sometimes, like David, they went from level 1 to level 3 very quickly. So last year, we had 30 students enrolled in the program, and we had over 4,000 hours of instruction. Okay, next slide, please. So now we're gonna have one of our level 1 students here who's gonna speak. Her name is Oksana. She's from Ukraine. Oksana comes every single day to class, and she's gonna be sharing a little bit of her story with you. Thank
you. My name is Oksana. My birthday, 29 July 1974. I'm from Ukraine. I have lived in Shelton for 2 years and 6 months. I was a nurse in Ukraine. I am studying English, and I take care of my son and husband. I am studying so I can speak English in the pharmacy and at the store. My daughter lives in Ukraine. She is 31. In the future, I want to speak good English to get a job. Thank you very much.
Hello, I am Christina Holland. I'm the teacher for the Level 2 High Beginner class. And I would like to introduce you to a student who moved up from Level 1 to Level 2 this past year and attended a total of 320 hours of class. She is a hard-working and dedicated student. Please welcome Beatriz Marcos Diego.
Hello, my name is Beatriz Marcos. I am from Guatemala. I live with my two brothers. I have lived in Shelton for 2 years. I come here because I want a better future. I come to the English class because I need to speak with the people in my job. And when I go shopping at the grocery store, I want to answer when someone says, hello, how are you, and be friendly. I want to answer with, Sometimes I feel nervous because if I answer, I am nervous that they will talk more and I don't understand. I come to the English class for 1 year, and now I can understand more at my job and ask for things at the store. I work at a warehouse in Lacey for Trader Joe's. I work as janitorial. Everything I learned in the class helped me at work. I learned words like sweep, mop, floor, broken, and leaking, aisle, garbage, recycling, and organic. Now, if my supervisor says, please come to aisle 24, there is broken glass or broken bags, I understand. I want to study. I want to be able to speak, understand, listen, and read English very well. We can grow and learn. Thank you for the listen to me. God bless you.
Okay, the next student is Cornelio Calmo. He's been a student since January of 2023 and took a brief break in the middle there, but has been coming for about 2.5 years. When Cornelio comes, he comes at least 3 nights a week, and he's gone from level 1 to level 4, which is an intermediate level. He's been an excellent student, and his new English skills have allowed him to begin to explore a career in house painting. He attended 220 hours in 2024-25, and so far this year, 80 more, so that makes 300 and counting. So here's Cornelio.
Hi, my name is Cornelio Calmo. I have lived in Shelton for 9 years. I live with my wife and 2 children. My daughter, Karina, is 6 years old, and my son, Junior, is almost 1. 3 brothers live here too. My parents and 2 sisters and their families live in Guatemala. I came to the United States for a good future and to support my parents. I have come to the English class for over 2 years. When I started in the classes, I didn't speak any English. I have worked in the forest picking brush for 9 years. I have also worked with a house painting company for 3 years during the summer. I like to learn about painting houses, and in the future, I would like to own my own painting business. This year, I want to find full-time work with a painting company. I have learned many things in English class: how to ask and answer questions, the present, past, and future tenses, and English for work and the community. We learn about nature, Martin Luther King, and to read announcements and emails. Now, I can express what I feel, and I can ask many things. I help my brothers to communicate in English. I can speak with clients at my job. I like coming to the class because the teachers and volunteers are friendly. They teach and explain very well. We understand and learn. In the future, I want to open a painting business. I am thankful for Sound Learning because we have a place to practice English. Thank you so much for listening to me.
Thank you. Great job, Cornelio. Consuelo. Yeah. So maybe one more round of applause for the students who've spoken. We still have one more, but...
Okay, about Thurston County. I want to tell you that I'm very, 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 very happy because for the last 4 years we have had a little place to teach classes. I used to go from one place to another place, to the library, coffee shops, and thanks to one of our sponsors in Olympia, we have a little space on the west side. So now we're having classes daily in our little space. It's our cozy home there, and we call it La Oficinita, you know, the little office. And you can see a picture of us there. So we have had an amazing outreach, working with a variety of students there, people from different countries all over the world. This program is mainly run by volunteers. All those tutors are the ones who are teaching the classes, and we have Debbie and Brian here who have been supporting us with us a lot these days. In Thurston County, we do English as a second language, basic skills, citizenship, digital literacy. We have one-on-one small classes and online, which has been very, very successful in the last 6 years since the pandemic started. So next slide, please. Thurston County program, last year we had 35 students and 3,166 hours. 31 of those students were English as a second language, and we had 4 ABE and 23 volunteers teaching those classes. So we got 2 students who obtained citizenship, and we're working on getting students driver's license, library cards, people getting jobs and computer skills. So, which is a little different from having classes in Mason, is that we ask the students what they want to learn, right? They tell us what they want to learn, how they want to learn it, what time they're available to do it, and we try to address that the best way that we can, right? So we also been having a senior class. They're really cute. we're having 7 students coming to that class, and all of them are over 70. So that's really cute. Okay, next slide, please. As I said before, the online classes are getting better and better. I started that with a couple of applications, Zoom and WhatsApp, and now we have about 7 tutors doing online, including Brian, who have been doing that for a long time. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, now this is a photo of the senior class here, you know. And next slide. Thank you, I know. So this is Gabby and Teresita. They got their citizenship last year. It took them a couple of years to be able to obtain the citizenship. It is getting really, really hard to pass the interview these days, and I'm afraid that it's going to be harder. So in order to cover that, we've been doing face-to-face and online, yeah. And some of the students are even, Naomi's been helping with that too, have been doing classes every single day. So now we're going to have an amazing speaker, and this is an amazing person who used to work at Sound Learning before when it was Mason County Literacy. She's been in our program several times, and she has an amazing story that she has and she wants to share with you. So Maria Teresa, can you come over, please? Okay, you can go. So Maria Teresa's been working on improving her English skills, and last week she started learning how to use the computer at the library. We're helping her how to use a tablet and her phone, and she's been working really hard on understanding the new health system, right, and health insurance system that is getting really complicated. So she also became a citizen several years ago. So she's been doing a lot throughout the program. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone, Sound Learning staff and volunteer tutors. My name is Maria Teresa Rodriguez. I am from Mexico City. I am currently attending the Sound Learning ESL program in Thurston County, and I am working with 2 tutors, one-on-one, twice a week. I don't have enough words to express my gratitude for this invaluable opportunity Sound Learning has given me at my 84 years old. I never imagined I could continue learning English with such enthusiasm, joy, and progress. Thanks to my dear tutors, their passion, infinite dedication, kindness, and weekly support, I have been able to improve my conversation skills, understand better American native speakers, and feel more connected to the world around me. I have been participant in this program in several occasions over the years. Thank you to the English skills I have acquired with my tutors, I have been able to work as a community advocate and as a counselor in family programs in both Mason and Thurston County. My tutors' dedication and effort honored. Each class is a special moment that motivates me to keep going and makes me feel young at heart. My tutors have been helping me to solve some of my most important daily life needs, such as how to navigate the health insurance system and how to use the computers at the library. Thank you, my dear tutors, for believing in me and for showing me that it's never too late to keep learning, for encouraging me when I make mistakes, and for celebrating my progress no matter how small it is. At this moment of my life, my main goal is to be able to communicate with my American grandchildren, to actively participate and engage in their school, sport, art, and daily life activities. I would also like to continue counseling families in the community as a volunteer. Sound learning has been a blessing in my life. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I will never forget what you have done for me. With love and eternal gratitude, I deeply appreciate it. Thanks again.
I feel really honored to introduce these women. They're an inspiration in my life. I used to work with Maria Teresa. She's been my mentor, and she's a great person. And next slide, please. So we're giving the awards now. Do you want to say something, or do you want to keep going? Okay, thank you, Eva.
Don't go anywhere, Consuelo. So this is the part where we thank specific organizations and individuals for their continued support to Sound Learning, for their time, their effort, and for the community that they also serve. We have first, I'm going to let Consuelo introduce this person because this is someone that she has felt very passionate about. And just listening to her talk about this individual, I got motivated.
As I'm telling you, I feel honored to introduce this woman to you. So I met Debbie about 27 years ago. I was a student at SPSCC. I was learning English. She's amazing, one of the best teachers I've had. But what Debbie does is amazing. She's been teaching English for 52 years in different places, at colleges, community organizations, and other countries. And she was one of the pioneers who started the Citizenship program in the state. So what she does inspires me. She's been a volunteer for about 3 years with Sound Learning. She has had several students, and she helped one of the students who got a citizenship last year. She's currently working with another person who wants to obtain citizenship and helping us in the ESL classes. So Debbie, can you come over? Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, I do this because I love teaching. And to say how much I love it, you have to know that when I was in second grade, I decided I would be a teacher. I never wavered from that. What I was going to teach changed, but when I joined the Peace Corps in 1973, that started me on my ESL career, and I haven't looked back. The citizenship part came to me and two other people in the state through what used to be called INS, Immigration and Naturalization Service. They wanted a fast-track program in 3 different places, and South Puget Sound was one of those locations, and I was asked to start it. And it's been a wonderful experience since 1994 to help people get citizenship as well. But in all of these cases, whether it's English language acquisition or citizenship, it's the students' motivation that motivates me, just to see how hard they work, just like the speakers tonight have told you about their lives. I'm very grateful for their attention, their motivation, their hard work, and their achievement. That's what keeps pushing me. So I just love it, and I hope I can keep going.
Do we have the representative from Brady Trucking here tonight? Okay. Thought I'd seen you come in. Could you please come up? We have a unique relationship with Brady Trucking. They have been connected with us for nearly 10 years. They have sponsored celebration teams. They have done other donations throughout this time. But the number one piece is the fact that they have been consistently supporting sound learning over the years. That literacy, whether it's digital literacy, math literacy, reading literacy, they have supported our programs to keep us going in the community so that we can make sure that what we are doing stays here. So with that, I would like to introduce Ashley. Sorry, blonde moment. I apologize. So Ashley, if you would mind coming over here.
Wasn't expecting this. Hi, I'm Ashley. My husband and I own Brady Trucking. So I started out at Sound Learning as a volunteer, and that's pre-having kids about 13 years ago, probably. And so I volunteered in the ESL program with Jenny, and really loved it and enjoyed it and loved meeting all the people and saw the good work that everybody did in here. And so since then, I don't have a whole lot of time to donate, so we've consistently done yearly contributions and things like that. And so I'm glad to support all you guys do the real work, and thank you guys.
Next, I know that we have some representatives from the Shelton Skookum Rotary, Bob Miller being one of them. So the Literacy Advocate Award, as you can see, is about making changes in people's lives through literacy. Well, Skookum Rotary does that in several different ways, not only through their support through sound learning, but through their additional supports into the community. For example, anybody heard of the scholarship program that they do? It's kind of connected to this little event that they put on called Oyster Fest. Those scholarships help high school graduates be able to help afford that time in school. So with Shelton Skookum Rotary Club, make sure I get that right, the other big piece is many of their members also volunteer at Sound Learning. So they're not only giving back through the program that they're connected with, but they're also giving back in their personal time to our organization. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Bob Miller, who is also, he kept one of our databases going for quite some time, and we couldn't have done it without him.
Thank you. So thank you all very much for this award. We have some other Skookum Rotarians in here. We have Rob Coleman, if you want to stand up, Rob. And Rob's our director of community donations, so he's a good guy to know for any of you in nonprofits. And Pam Stern is our president-elect, and a real powerhouse is Pam. Now, Lori Wickett is here. Now, Lori's not a Rotarian, but her husband is, and she does most of our projects with us also, and I know is a strong supporter of Sound Learning, as is Stacy, who was on the board for quite a while. And Troy Jasmine was a member of Skookum at one time, so thank you again, Troy. So our connection to literacy, and in particular Mason County literacy as we used to call it, goes clear back to 1991 when Sound Learning started. And it got a kickstart from Skookum Rotary because Lynn Busaka, the executive director of Sound Learning, her husband Bill was a Rotarian, and my wife Sandy Miller was on the original board. And on kind of a personal note here, my son Brad, Anna Miller's husband, thanks Anna for being here, was student number 1 for Sound Learning. So that's he went on from not
You can fight over who gets that one.
Thank you, Ava.
You're welcome. All right. Now we're on to the part of the program where we talk about our shining stars. These are people who have volunteered in our programs, and some have even gone through our programs. And they have made a difference in the lives of the people they come in contact with. So to start off, Jason, would you come up here, please? Now, Jason has a very special connection. He came to us needing some math improvement. One of our longtime math tutors by the name of Larry Parker, and his daughter is here this evening, was the person who got Jason to stop hating math. He needed those skills to get up so he could finish off his college degree. He has not only done that, but no crying.
No, I'm not crying.
He took up, when we lost Larry, he took over Larry's mantle, and he has now become our #1 math tutor because Larry got him to like math.
Thanks, Ava. Yeah, Larry actually managed to do that. I never thought it'd happen. I was so terrified of math for decades. Academically, it was a big contributing factor of me dropping out of school back in high school. Yeah, I quit. The pandemic got me to quit drinking. So it was like, okay, what do I do? Well, there's only one thing that you really need to change when it comes to recovery, and that's everything. And so I was like, okay, I need to stop doing stuff like trying to pick brush for a living. I heard him say pick and brush. I was like, yeah, I know that. And I need to go back to school. And so I went back to school at Olympic, and I got a pretty good grasp on most of the topics, but math is just terrible at it. Had to start at math 90 and work my way up. And yeah, Larry, so awesome. I mean, I wasn't the easiest student. There was days where it was just like, to heck with this. And he stood by me the whole time and got me through it and really modeled for me what it meant to like really be patient and to stick by somebody and give so selfishly, And yeah, now I've got math and it's awesome. Yeah, kind of speechless right now. This is a trip. But yeah, sound learning is, I live right across the street from sound learning. So yeah, it's awesome. I'm part of the recovery community. I've got, I'll have 5 years sober in July. So yeah, it's huge. And I helped get a outpatient rehabilitation facility going downstairs. I live on 2nd Street, right across from Sound Learning, and we've got the food bank there. We've got the youth connection. We've got Sound Learning, and so it's really cool to be a part of the neighborhood and to finally be giving back and not be like this ghost walking through society. It's nice to actually be a contributing member of it. Yeah, and I got my associates, and I'm working on my bachelor's. I'm taking a quarter off this quarter, but I'm on my bachelor's. I got my associates in human services and my SUDP, substance use disorder professional. Got that, and yeah, now I'm just volunteering as much as I can down at Sound Learning, and it's awesome. I mean, that one-on-one work with people, I try to steer as many people I know in the recovery, community to Sound Learning, and I've gotten a couple there, and yeah, it's nice. So thank you. Thanks, Shelton.
Consuelo will present the next one.
So as I said before, we couldn't have the Thurston County tutoring program without volunteers like Brian. I met Brian about, 12, 13 years ago when you started tutoring Maria, and Maria wanted to get her GED, which she got it. So Brian's been helping us with academic skills as well as English as a second language. And lately he was doing online, right, with a couple of students. One of them with Ricardo for a couple of years. So Brian, can you come over? It's such an honor to have a professor of universities here with us. So thank you so much, Brian. Would you mind saying a couple of words?
Yeah, I got my start in teaching similar to Debbie. Peace Corps, Bolivia, 1966. And I've been doing, mostly what I've been doing ever since is teaching, from junior high up through university. I started with Sound Learning in 2012. I was in Olympia 2012 to 2014. I moved up to Port Angeles, moved back to the area in 2022, and I've been working with Sound Learning ever since. So, thank you. I didn't prepare a speech.
Okay, so the next shining star is for Charlie Walsh, who couldn't be here tonight, but we're honoring a couple people tonight who worked together in the level 3 to 5 ESL classes at Choice. And Charlie and Stephanie both started about the same time in spring, summer of 2023. And what's really cool about Charlie is that, well, he was a 4th grade teacher for many years. And so some of the things that we practice with the students in the intermediate ESL class, reading comprehension skills, or a very introductory piece about the writing process and how to get started with that, actually correlates really well with what he taught all those years in 4th grade. And he's very patient, and for Charlie, it doesn't matter if he's just sitting at a table with 3 people or 4 people or 1 person. He's really good at facilitating practice with people and very patient. And so he wanted to share some words which I'm going to read to you really quickly. Teaching has always been part of my life. My mother, grandmother, and sister were all teachers, and my daughter and niece are still teaching. For 18 years, I taught middle schoolers and elementary school kids, mostly 4th and 5th graders. I've been retired since 2009 and found that I missed working with students. I always love when people who... We work with all kinds of volunteers, and some of the best volunteers are people who don't have teaching experience, but I always love when people who have teaching experience want to keep teaching, and so they show up on our doorstep retired wanting to keep teaching people. Sound Learning offered the best situation for me. Their students want to learn. For 3 years now, I've looked forward to greeting them every week to help them on their journey. Wednesday nights, I have the privilege of teaching English to students mostly from Guatemala and Mexico, and it amazes me that a majority of them are learning a 3rd language. Their stories and reasons for learning English inspire me, and I enjoy laughing with them as they try to teach me some Spanish. If you're interested in helping others learn English, I encourage you to join Sound Learning. It's a rewarding experience for all of us. So that's Charlie. And Stephanie is here, and you can come on up. So Stephanie also volunteered in that program and for 2 years. And what's interesting about Stephanie is that she comes from an environmental background. She's worked with the Thurston County Conservation District and the Mason County Conservation District and probably other organizations too, and has done environmental education. So she's done a lot of work with youth of different ages doing real science, like monitoring water quality and learning about ecosystem health. But she came to our program with an interest in just learning more about her immigrant neighbors and having a way to connect with people in a person-to-person way. And what was cool is that she had educational background coming to our program, but had to use it in a really different environment. And Stephanie was really good at practicing conversation with people. And it's not always easy to practice conversation with someone for whom English is not their first language and they're still learning. But Stephanie was really good at asking questions and speaking clearly and getting other people to participate, which is not as easy as it seems, and it takes a certain type of awareness to make sure that everyone has a chance to participate. So I really appreciate having worked with you, and Stephanie also helped us on our salmon field trips, the first couple ones we took, and helped to connect me with different resources for teaching about the salmon life cycle. So thank you, Stephanie.
Wow. So I was a fan of Sound Learning before I came in the doors tonight, and then after hearing all these stories, when's that celebration again? Is it May 16th? Okay. Amazing. Like, I just love hearing these stories, listening to the volunteers and the students. Like you said, this was really a way for me, very selfishly, to learn more about my community, to tap into people that I pass by in the grocery store all the time, but I don't know anything about them. And so it really helped deepen my connection to the community of Shelton. My husband and I have lived here for 20 years, and I only got involved a couple years ago. And so this has been a huge growing opportunity for me. I really didn't ever pay attention to your mission statement before, but I see myself in that mission statement. I'm not necessarily learning English to serve my community, but I'm learning about my community, and that makes me a better part of that community. So anyway, so that I really appreciate being able to volunteer and to give back and to hear from all of you. And Jenny, you're amazing. I love you too.
Our next award, as you can see, we have some certificates to give out. Our next one is for Mr. Jeff Slakey. And the reason for that is mostly it's for a little project that he works with called KMAS. Maybe you've heard of it. This wonderful man graciously plugs Sound Learning to get us books. We are constantly in need of books. We give away a lot of books. And as Bob pointed out, we give a lot of books away at Oysterfest, especially children's books. He has done an amazing job at making sure that we are constantly getting children's books in. Best thing is we have two little libraries out in front, and Matt's our librarian. He has to constantly refill it every single day. Here's the other thing. The kids have gotten to the point where they're doing better than the adults. They finish a book, they bring it back, or they replace it with a different book. So they're making sure that they're spreading the love of reading. So, Jeff, would you like to come up and say a few words?
Hi, yes, I'm Jeff with KMAS Radio. I've been on the board of Sound Learning for many years now, I think 7 or 8 perhaps. And so I love these events where you can kind of hear the stories and really get an understanding. And I know that during our board conversations that comes up a lot is that the books are in need. And so I kind of said, well, I'll see what I can do with the radio. And I'm happy that it worked and that I was over there. We had a board retreat a couple weeks back, and I walked by Matt's office there, and I did see boxes and boxes and boxes of books. And so it's just really awesome to see the different levels that are available. And I always see people at the library as well. So again, you've heard tonight a great opportunity to volunteer and be a part of a wonderful organization. And if you've got books, bring them down, and Matt will get them out to people. So thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Jeff is also the one who made sure to provide us with sound for this evening, as well as video. Our last set of certificates goes to the Mason County Masonic Lodges. Now, they don't work directly with Sound Learning, but we're recognizing them for a program that they do participate in. Freemasons of Washington, Free and Accepted Masons of Washington, have this program where it's called Bikes for Books, and it is a reading program where children who read, the more they read, they have an opportunity of getting a bicycle. Well, in Mason County, we have 3 lodges. We have Union City 27, Mount Moriah number 11, and Hood Canal number 288. Unfortunately, one of our members couldn't be here this evening, but we do have Peter Fair Lazarenko from, actually he's in multiple lodges, but right now he is the worshipful master for Mount Moriah. Pete, would you please come up? We have Mr. Skip Hash, who is the worshipful master of Union City number 27, and Jack Huggins unfortunately could not be here this evening for Hood Canal, and Pete will be accepting on his behalf.
Talk about the Bikes for Books.
Thank you. Now, the Bikes for Books program is a really good program. The schools all throughout Mason County, they have from little kids to high school kids, they get so many books they have to read, understand what they read, and then their names go into a pot, and the teachers that are running these programs will pick the names and contact us 2-3 times a year saying, I have 3 students or I have 23 students, and these are who they are, their ages, and these are their genders, and the bicycles that we would like them to get. So then we go out and we purchase the bikes, the helmets, and we get dressed up, and then we go to the school when they have an assembly, and then we present the bikes to the students. And the look on the kids' faces, it's excellent. Skip.
I retired from full-time teaching in California in 2000. Moved up here, took about a 6-year hiatus, and decided that, gee whiz, I can get a lifetime substitute credential in Washington State. So I did, and I substituted. I substituted in Hood Canal School the longest length of time. And I remember the day I walked down to the office and said, on the occasion of my 79th birthday, I retire from substitute teaching. When's that going to be? Oh, that's next week.
Skip, this is for Union City.
Thank you.
This is for Jack.
Okay.
And this is for Mount Laurel.
Perfect. Thank you.
My next weekend's meeting.
Everybody shows up to try to get traveling gavel.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this does conclude our presentation for the evening. Hopefully you learned a little something about sound learning, or it rekindled something within you from when you were a part of us at some point. Altogether, I would like to thank everyone who has participated in our programs, everybody who supports our programs, to our student speakers, to family members who came to support somebody tonight, for all our community partners, and everybody in the room. Thank you for being here. Staff, for coming in. I know that for some of you, this has made it a very long night. Please have some refreshments before you take off, but be careful out there. It is a little icy, and if you do hit fog, remember, don't turn on your high beams. All right, have a good evening. Thank you.